So, alright guys, we gotta get this one right. On three, we're gonna say welcome back to Extraordinary Thoughts for on their mind. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back to our mind.
And we back.
That'll work right there.
And we back. And we back. And we back. And we
Y'all did y'all best. And that's all that matters.
What's going on, everybody? It's that ordinary podcaster with the extraordinary thoughts that tells you to stop being great and be extraordinary. I'm your host, Demetrius Thigpen, also known as Meech Speaks, and welcome back to another episode of Extraordinary Thoughts for the Ordinary Mind. You know, before we begin this Friday, this unfuck yourself, I'm just going to cut straight to the chase. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you need to learn how to fight. Like, I really cannot stress that enough. You see what I'm saying? If you got a chance to look at my Instagram earlier, I talked about it a little bit in my stories. But the benefits of knowing how to properly defend yourself, like the benefits of being properly inoculated into violence, are so vast. It's so much more than just being able to hurt somebody. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong. The ability to knock a motherfucker's teeth out is so reassuring. But the fact that you know you can do that's priceless. You know what I mean? And I bring that up for a couple of reasons. But one of the reasons was, for those who don't know, I grapple, I ground fight, I spar. I try to incorporate that as much as possible within my life, but I have been doing it a lot more regularly. And, that sounded horrible. That was a terrible sentence. But I've been doing it a lot more. And it's such a reassuring feeling to know when you're starting to get better at something. You know what I mean? Like, I've always been able to, but it's such a reassuring feeling to know that you are getting better. So when I tell you to learn how to fight, I'm not just telling you to just learn how to fight so that way you can hurt somebody. But I really just want to just break it down real quick before we really start this episode. It is such a reassuring feeling, and it brings me peace of mind to know that despite somebody's height, despite somebody's weight, like, I don't care what type of calisthenics they do, how much they deadlift, what they could bench. Like, I don't care. The fact that I know that I could fuck them up, it brings, oh my God, the level of peace that it brings me. You know what I'm talking about? Like, the peace of mind that I have acquired from this feeling, you see what I'm saying, is the type of peace of mind that you get when you get the negative results back from getting tested. That type of peace of mind. You know what I mean? I'm talking about, this is the type of peace of mind that when you lay down at night, you know you ain't got no real problems. You know, that type of peace of mind that, right when the burden been lifted off of your shoulder and you just can just breathe. Like, that's the type of peace of mind that I have when I'm dealing with people, despite whatever their size or stature is. Like, it's a certain level of confidence that I have acquired. And, I try to tell people that regardless of the situation, it's just imperative that you learn how to fight. Like, it's imperative. I never understand how I see people that go their entire lives and never have been in a physical altercation. Like, to be honest with you, I can't trust their words sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they are being true to themselves, because if you have went that long without being in a physical altercation, I'm worried about who the type of people that you're around. Do they ever disagree with you? I'm worried about whether or not you stand firm on your word. And that's not to say anything about anybody, because some people just have never been in a fight before. But my thing is that if you have went your entire life without being in a physical altercation with somebody, I gotta ask myself, has somebody ever questioned you before? You know what I mean? Or are you speaking your truth? You know what I mean? Like, because a lot of people, we live in this world where fear runs everything. And I promise you, I'm gonna get into today's episode, but I really just needed to clear my spirit. But fear runs everything. And I don't say that in the sense that because I know how to fight, I invoke fear within people. Absolutely not. But I say fear runs everything because the reason why a lot of people try to avoid violence is because people are afraid to get beat up. Like, that's really it. People aren't afraid to lose the fight per se. They're afraid to get beat up. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, just because you know how to fight does not mean that you're not going to lose a fight every once in a while. But what I will say is that the percentage of you getting your ass beat is a lot lower than the person who does not know how to fight, period. Like, I'm telling you, like, if you know how to properly defend yourself, you're not going to get your ass beat unless you're fighting some Shanghai master. You see what I'm saying? But it's at such an average low. But that's a lot of people. A lot of people are just afraid to get beat up. Fear runs everything to the point where people are afraid to lose. Then let me phrase it. People are afraid to fail. And it's because of that fear of failure, that is why a lot of people don't step outside of their comfort zone. That's why I'm preaching this right now. Like, inoculate yourself into some form of violence. But the one thing that being properly introduced to violence has helped me with is my confidence. And if you haven't realized today, this episode is about unfucking your confidence. Now, one thing that I always hope that I never say on air is like that typical statement. You know, people always ask me, because nobody really asks me people ask me a lot of shit, but nobody ever asks me what I'm about to say on an episode or anything of that nature. But I do receive a lot of compliments because of my confidence. I mean, we are having a conversation with a guy that wore a crop top. You know what I mean? So like, I got to have a little bit of confidence to do that. But I always wasn't like that. I've to be honest with you, like, to really paint you a picture of what I was before I started to find confidence with myself. Let me rephrase. The reasons why I didn't have confidence in myself. I chipped my front tooth when I was in the 3rd grade. And I would spend from the 3rd grade all the way to the 7th with a chipped tooth. So I would hear all type of jokes of, you know, Chip Ahoy, Chippendale the Rescue Rangers, chocolate chip cookies, you know, stupid shit like that. But although it did make me funny and made me be able to laugh at myself and be able to laugh at and make people laugh at other kids, one thing that a lot of people don't know is that I was very insecure about that. I was very insecure. Like, I would look in the mirror when I was younger and I refused to smile because I felt like I looked like a monster. You know, like, I just knew my smile was ugly. Fast forward, when I got to the 7th grade, I was able to get a cap. But I don't know if it was just because of low budget Detroit medicine or whatever the case was, but I ended up getting like this metal cap put in my mouth. It was horrible. It was horrendous. It was discolored. You know what I mean? It was blue. And if somebody from Detroit like that went to high school with me is listening right now, you know exactly what that tooth used to look like. People used to call me like Bluetooth, dog. It was around the time too when the Bluetooth feature, you know, technology had finally came out. So people used to be like, oh, you know, they would bring their phones to my mouth and say, hey, I need to hook up my Bluetooth. Like, my confidence was at an all-time low. Like, my confidence was so low, and I've just recently told people this, that I used to date people that I felt that I looked better than. Like, I did not have no type of confidence in myself. I thought that I was ugly, to be honest with you. I had a big forehead, and I didn't smile because I had an ugly smile. And it didn't help that, you know, my grandmother had told me one time that I just looked better when I didn't smile. So it just reaffirmed these insecurities that I already had. Honestly, I recently just started smiling. And the reason why I really started smiling more is because I have shit to smile about. You know what I mean? Like, I have shit to really, I can't fight back the smile anymore, you know? And it really took a long time for me to establish my confidence. The reason why I'm so big on fighting and learning how to inoculate yourself is that I didn't know how to fight at one point. My God. Imagine you to joke and you don't know how to defend yourself. When I tell you that I had to be careful when I made these jokes, because although they're laughing, it could easily switch up. You know what I mean? Like, it easily switch up and we fighting and I can't fight. You know, I didn't learn how to fight until I got into my teenage years. While all the other neighborhood kids were already in those scuffles and, you know, running the block and everything of that nature, I was a nerd. Like, oh my God, like little Meech, like little Demetrius was not like, I was not the person who I am. Like, I am so happy I turned out to be this person because it wasn't looking good. But just to give you that idea, it took years for me to establish confidence within myself. And I really wanted to bring up confidence because, I talked about it in like my earlier episodes, but I feel like it was just a little too doctorate. I was trying to just sound too important when I should have just sounded real about the situation. But I don't know who needs to hear this, but you need to boss your fucking life up. Stop letting these people tell you what your worth is. Stop letting these people tell you how you supposed to look. Stop letting these people tell you anything about yourself. And the best way to do that is to have confidence in yourself. See, what a lot of people don't understand about confidence is a feeling of sure. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a feeling to be sure of yourself and your abilities. It's not arrogant. And that's where we tend to cross the line a lot. Is that people always say, and everybody, and this is the thing that kind of pisses me off, is that I can't stand an insecure person. Now that I have established confidence with myself and I have learned to constantly pour into myself, I can't stand insecure people. And before I tell you the benefits of being confident, I'm gonna tell you the detriments of being confident, of being not confident, of being insecure. There it is, right there. I will tell you the detriments of being insecure. See, when you're an insecure person, you're constantly pulling people down. You know what I mean? Like, you're constantly always making, jokes, or you're making statements about somebody or what they could be doing to better themselves. But in reality, you're not really bettering yourself. Every statement that you say is something about you to reaffirm who you are. Like, an insecure person can pick up on a confident person in a heartbeat. Do you know how many times I have walked in a room and I know that the energy that I give off bothers people? Like, for real, like when I walk into a room and I know when there are people that are intimidated by me. I can feel it by the way they talk. They want to have a conversation with me so they can get on my good side. They, want to, puff their chest out a little bit more. Like, it's just little shit that just irritates me. And I can't stand it because these are really problems that you are having with yourself. But confident people disrupt the energies of insecure people all the time. But the problem is that if you're in a leadership position and you are insecure, your troops feel that. Ain't nothing worse than an insecure leader. There's nothing worse. An insecure leader, he's one of them type of people. It's either my way or the highway, because in his mind, he thinks that his way is the best way. But in reality, his way is the reason why we constantly have to keep fucking making X, Y, and Z statements backwards. An insecure leader stops growth because he doesn't want them to outgrow him. An insecure leader takes credit for work that he has never accomplished. Let me rephrase that. He takes credit for work that he could never accomplish. Insecure leaders are the reasons why you always hear somebody talk about how they want to get out of X, Y, and Z, the military, out of a job, out of this state, out of the city, out of every situation it may be, because of the lack of security that somebody has within them. So the first thing that I will tell you is that it is imperative that you establish some fucking confidence within yourself. If you a parent, you have to have confidence. You got to pour confidence into yourself, even on your worst days. Even when you got formula on your damn chest, you look like a fucking mess. You got to pour some confidence into yourself. Like, I can't stress that enough because the children pick up on it. You're insecure. Your kid's about to be insecure because you don't pour into them, because you can't even pour into yourself. It's imperative that you wipe out this insecurity. You have to have confidence. And stop letting these people tell you that it's arrogance. I remember when I started to state my accomplishments, like when I used to scream my accomplishments, people were so quick to come up to me and say, you need to be humble. Like, hey, like, excuse my language, and I try not to be as vague on this podcast, but I'm just going to go ahead and just tell you exactly what I've been thinking about telling those people that come up to me and talk about, you need to be humble. Like, yo, suck my dick. Like, dead ass, bro. Like, shut the fuck up. And the reason why I wanted to be so vulgar about that statement right there is because my success is no longer going to be something that I'm just going to put away for the benefit of you. A lot of times we tend to just mute our success so other people can feel good about themselves because we know that our success will overshadow them. But this is the problem with that situation is that stop invalidating those times that you spent training. Stop invalidating those lonely nights. Stop invalidating those times where you wanted to give up, but you kept pursuing it. And now here you are with the gold fucking medal, but you want to act like you don't got gold. You want to paint it bronze for the motherfucker in second place. Fuck them. It's you. So don't let nobody tell you that you being arrogant because you pouring into yourself. Don't let nobody tell you that you need to be humble. Like to be honest with you, tell them to suck your dick. And I promise you, that's the last time I'm gonna say that because that's so vulgar. That's so vulgar. But tell them to shut the fuck up. For real. Because you have overcome so much. And who are they to tell you how you are supposed to celebrate? That's the first step in confidence, period. But one thing that I really want people to know is that confidence is not a feeling of superiority. See, that's that toxic masculinity misconstrued idea that because you are confident, you think that you're better than everybody else. That's not really the truth. The thing is that because I am confident, I am capable. Let me rephrase. Because I am confident, I know that I am capable. Have you ever been faced with a situation and everybody else is nervous but you? Let me rephrase that. Imagine everybody's out and everybody gets their bill. And the bill, you ever been around somebody that can't pay their bill? You know what I mean? Like they at the restaurant, they ordered their food and the food was just 1 cent over than what they is. And they start to sweat. They a little nervous. Kind of like some of these people when they found out that the CFT was back on and they have been taking like the past 6 months off because of the COVID situation and they kind of gained a little bit of weight. Now, let's switch gears. You at the restaurant. You know you got money in the bank. You don't even, you don't worry about it. Let's switch gears again. Then you just found out that the CFT's back on. But the thing is that you've been running and working out this entire time. Like you really didn't need to go to the gym. You just maintained a proper, physical appearance and physical capability. So a CFT is really just nothing for you. That's confidence. That's the ability to know that you're capable. Like a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people can't sit there in a room full of people and know that they're capable. Like it's the ability to walk into a room and know that what you say is true. Like, have you ever been good at your job? Like so good that you know nobody could tell you what you need to do? That's the ability to be incapable. Like, that's why I'm so proud of learning how to fight. To have a conversation with somebody asked me recently, they were like, hey, why you be chewing, you be chewing the Marine's ass, I wish I could do that. You could. He's like, but what you gonna do if one of them hits you? I'm gonna get hit. The ability to know that I'm capable, like if one day somebody ever hit me, I know for a fact that I can help them find whatever mind they lost. That's capable. Like, I can't stress it enough. Confidence isn't about being superior. Confidence is about being capable. Now that I've covered like the importance of it, I really just want to just reiterate though, is that confidence is believing in yourself. That feeling, that comfort in knowing your true self. Knowing that whatever you do, you know that you're capable of doing it. And even if you're not capable of doing it, like even if you think like your abilities may not be enough for that situation, you know that you can weather this storm. Like you know that better days are going to come. You see what I'm saying? And just to really just throw that out there, confidence is just attractive. Like I don't know who needs to hear that. Like confidence is so attractive. Like, I feel like I mentioned this a long time ago, but one quality that I will always look for in a woman is confidence over anything else. A confident woman can wear whatever the fuck she wants. Does not need validation from a man, period. Does not need validation from somebody else. The only validation that she receives is when she looks in the mirror and reaffirms herself. A confident man can wear whatever he wants, and the only validation that he will receive is a validation that he receives from himself, and that's more than enough. Confidence will supersede everything else. I don't care. Like you could They tell us on boards to be confident. Like, you know how many times I have gotten questions wrong? Like, I'm talking about one time I literally looked at somebody and they said, who's the Secretary of Defense? I looked them dead in the face and said, Hillary Clinton. But the way I said it, you would have thought Hillary Clinton was our Secretary of Defense. I have gotten things wrong, but you wouldn't know because I'm confident. I wear what I want to wear because I'm not insecure. Like, everybody always, like, they complimented me on that whole crop top. And although I did receive a lot of homophobic, slurs and X, Y, and Z, you think I really cared? I liked it. And that's one thing that you got to really understand. And as I go into my next statement, and I bet you've been wondering, like, how do you establish confidence? First things first is that you gotta like you. You gotta like you. Like, fuck the bullshit. You gotta like you. Like, a lot of people aren't confident because they don't like who they are. Like, a lot of people are not confident in themselves because they feel like they're inferior. They feel like they're incapable. They feel like they're inadequate. They feel like they're ugly. They feel like they're all of these things that people say to them so they believe it. You gotta like you. Like, as I started to go down this whole journey, before I can tell others to become the better version of themselves, I had to tell myself that I needed to become the better version of me. I had to start looking myself in the mirror and be like, all right, bro, you need to get your shit together. Like, being confident is being able to pull yourself off to the side and say, yo, like, unfuck yourself. Get your shit together. Because you're capable of more. I had to look myself in the mirror and tell myself that I'm capable of more. Like, if you want to start instilling confidence within yourself, pull the mirror down and look yourself in the face right now and say you're capable of more. Like, when I tell you to boss your life up, I'm not saying boss your life up in an arrogant manner. I'm telling you that you're really capable of more. I'm telling you that your value is priceless, but you take these clearance sale fucking deals from these people who are invalidating you. Like, I'm trying to tell you that you are capable of more, but you gotta see it yourself. Like, I was talking about it earlier, like your self-worth, your value is so much more than the worth that you put out there. But the thing is that you be bargaining with these fucking people, bargaining your value so that way they can meet the subscription. Like, these people if they can't afford you, they can't afford you. But stop dolling your price down so that way people can have access to you. You are capable and you are worth more. The next thing that I will say, and this is like a more physical, like tangible thing, is do things that you're scared of. Two things that I kind of do on a regular basis, and I feel like this definitely helped my confidence a lot, was I fight and I public speak. I fight and I public speak. And those two right there are like in the top 10, like, notorious fears. Public speaking, the fear, people are more afraid to public speak than they are to get into a fight. Like, that's crazy, right? Like, people are more afraid to get in front of somebody and speak, like a group of people, and speak, than they are to get hit in the face. Like, it's preposterous. But it's that feeling of people are judging you. It's that feeling of not being important. So I would say, like, go to like your nearest Toastmasters, like, get in front of your platoon more, get in front of groups more, like, put yourself out there. Like, the worst that could ever happen is if you don't do it, to be honest with you. Yes, people are going to judge you. Yes, people are going to try to sharpshoot you. But one thing is, and this is the thing right here, is when you know your information and you know what you got to say is really important, you already know how to shut that shit down. Like, get in front of people. I'm telling you, like, it will boost your confidence up. Also, I can't stress this enough. Inoculate yourself in some violence. Even if, I'm not telling you to be the next ultimate fucking fighter. I'm not telling you to be the next Danielson. I'm not telling you to go ahead and, get some Cobra Kai in. But what I'm telling you, especially, man, and I cannot stress this enough. The way things go sometimes, it's such a reassuring feeling to know that you can protect yourself. Like, I can't stress that enough. I feel like all humans should be able to properly protect themselves. But as a father of 2 girls, I have inoculated them into violence, because I'll be damned if somebody's irresponsible, untrained son tries one of my little girls. Like, the amount of MST within the military, the amount of bullshit that females deal with on a regular basis in general. Obviously, you can see the way that one situation just went within the news lately. Ladies, it's imperative that y'all protect yourselves. It's imperative. Like I can't stress that enough. Not only would it instill confidence within you, like when you talk about being that alpha female, like an alpha female could look somebody in their face and you can give that look that you can knock them the fuck out. That motherfucker that keeps bothering you at the club, I'm telling you right now, when you know how to fight, it has nothing to do with their size. I can assure you that. It's the weight transfer that you about to deliver. The one that just don't want to take no for an answer. I'm telling you, ladies, come on. Future leaders of the Marine Corps. Future leaders of America. It's imperative that you find confidence in protecting yourself and mastering yourself. Confidence is key. All that other bullshit is here today and gone tomorrow. And just like that, another extraordinary thought left this ordinary mind. I hope you enjoyed this episode half as much as I enjoyed making it. Stay tuned Mondays and Fridays. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Meech Speaks. Once again, that's Meech Speaks. Meech is spelled MEECH. Don't forget to share this podcast, subscribe to this podcast, follow this podcast, pass this podcast to somebody, because this podcast was dedicated to helping everyone become a better version of themselves. Even though I don't know what that type of version is, I just know that you can be better. Lastly, don't forget to grab your copy of The Extraordinary Thought from the Ordinary Mind, available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles. I think there's an electrical copy. You know what it is. Stay hungry, stay motivated. I'm out.